Do y'all see this? What does that number say? 5,249,000 views. If you asked me a year ago, yo, Lucky, how many views do you think your account would have in 30 days? And you would tell me that it's gonna be 5 million? I wouldn't even know how to react, what to believe. I wouldn't even process it because a year ago today, it's Ramadan right now. You can watch on this YouTube channel. I made videos, day in the life of in Ramadan. It was a whole different me. I was in a whole different mindset. I was in a whole different environment, literally. Right now, I record videos in my parents' bedroom. I record videos in my home. Last year, I wasn't even in the same state. I was 6 hours away from home in a school far away. Literally, no community whatsoever. And I was just out there making videos on a daily basis. None of them were sticking. And honestly, I was wondering when everything would stick. I never believed in depression. I never believed in depression. I always thought depression was just like something that the America decided to implant in our minds to like hold us back for real, like the NIH and all of that, calling depression like an actual illness and all of that, when really I believe in God and that like everything happens for a reason, good and bad times. But that was the first time last Ramadan where I really felt like depressed. I felt like I was stuck. I felt like I was moving away from my religion. And if you know me, you know I take religion very seriously. I feel like without something to keep me grounded, I would lose myself. And I felt lost last Ramadan because I wasn't going to the mosque every day. I wasn't praying. I didn't find myself with any community. And really that was the nail in the coffin for me that made me realize that I had to come back. I had to leave this place. I had to change my environment to improve myself. My content wasn't working. I had no friends for real. I had no Muslim community. I wasn't really practicing as much as I really wanted to. It was overall a very lonely, I won't lie, and depressing time. So when you tell me a year later that I'm gonna have an account with 1,000 followers, 1,000, yeah, I know, 1,000. It's not the biggest, but honestly, that milestone, for as long as I've been making videos on that account on Instagram, since I started school, it's been almost 2 years. To hit 1,000 followers this year, honestly, alhamdulillah, and to see 5 million views is honestly insane. And all of this comes down to the topic of the video. Why 99% of people don't start. And that is your biggest problem. It's really your biggest problem. You're afraid to start for numerous reasons. You're embarrassed. You fear other people's opinions. You have the fear of failure. You feel like it's a waste of time. All these different reasons. And to that, I tell you, what about the exact opposite? People start glazing you. You start getting recognized. Your problems, your fear of embarrassment turns into confidence. Your fear of failure turns into success. All of these things can be the same. It all depends on your mindset. It all depends on you. You get what I'm saying? When I started making content, I was a little kid. I was 10 years old. I wasn't thinking anything of it. Honestly, I wasn't really thinking about money. I didn't even know YouTubers could even make money in 2016. I was legit just having fun laughing at all the YouTubers I was watching back in the day. Rice Gum, the Paul brothers, FaZe Clan, all of them, Sidemen. I was just having fun. I was a kid. And honestly, their videos made me want to make videos, which is why I started. And I guess for me it's easier now since I've always been making videos, but at the same time it's hard because you can easily let people influence you in your mind, man. You can let people come into your mind and be like, bro, you've been making videos for 10 years and you still only have 900 subscribers. And to that, I say, everybody's timeline is different, you know? Same way in college. Some people graduate in 4 years, some graduate in three, some graduate in 6, 7. No pun intended, you know? Same thing with making it to the league. Some guys are one and done. They play one season of college basketball, they're a first round pick. Some players are 4 year players and then get drafted. Some don't even get drafted at all and go undrafted. Some of them, as you can see nowadays, stay in college for 7, 8 years. Everybody's life, everybody's timeline trajectory is different. But you won't have a story to tell if you won't start. You gotta just start. That's it. Honestly, 50% of the work towards building something is just starting it, because everybody's gonna start off rough. You're not gonna be the greatest. You're not gonna be the best, and that's the thing people have. That's the problem people have that I'm noticing. I honestly came up with this video idea because the other day a friend of mine was asking me to do a collab with them, because he's a barber. He's trying to start a barbering, and he wants to build like an Instagram and TikTok page of his cuts and all of that. So he told me like, "Yo, I know you've been doing well and stuff. Let's do a collab." And I told him no. I told him no, and he said like, "Why?" And I'm telling him, until I actually see you do videos, until I actually see you do it rather than just talk about it, why would I do a collab with you? You get what I'm saying? It's gonna be a one-time thing, and then never again am I gonna see you make any other videos. I need to see you actually put in work first before I'm like, all right, bet let's do something together. Because at the end of the day, all of this starts with you. It all stems with you. You can't rely on somebody else to do the work for you, bro. And I feel like that's the problem a lot of people have nowadays. They want a lot of handouts. They always want handouts. They see Kai Cenat giving all his boys, putting on all his boys. Honestly, that's a rarity. Do you know the odds of Ray meeting Kai Cenat in an alleyway in a 7-Eleven in Japan? Do you know the rarity of that? And from there, Ray ended up becoming one of the biggest streamers. He has a whole Adidas brand like sponsorship deal and all of that, bro. That doesn't happen to everyone. You get what I'm saying? But you can increase your chances of that happening if you started building yourself now. If you started building yourself now, right? And you have a catalog that shows to people, that shows to Kai Cenat, yo, I'm actually like that. I'm a really cool content creator. You should check. Like, you can check out these videos, or video. He just your video randomly pops up on their feed, and they mess with you, and then boom, you get that opportunity. You never know what can happen. Really, luck isn't real, in my opinion. Even though my name is Lucky, I don't believe it. I don't believe in luck. I believe in faith and work. You know what I'm saying? Your work increases your chances of being quote unquote lucky. You know what I'm saying? But if you never started, you would never be able to be lucky, because you have nothing to show for it. Literally. It's in every facet of life. If you want to get a job, they ask you, what's your experience? Yes, even to people coming out of college. And the experience that we get out of college is through internships. They want to see our projects. They want to see what we've already done. But if you never did anything, what makes you think you're going to get that dream role that you want when you graduate? Nobody wants that. Nobody wants somebody that hasn't done nothing with themselves, with their lives. Stop wasting time. I see so many students in college take these breaks for granted and just do nothing. They're so tired from the semester. Bro, the breaks are the time for you to actually focus on you. Bro, the semesters, bro, you go to these classes and all of that. Ha ha ha. Sure, man, you're too busy with work. I get that. Me personally, I would still continue working on myself during the semesters, but still, okay, fine. But in the summer and winter break, when you got no classes, nothing, what are you doing? Bro, stop. I'm tired of people just going to work, working these 9 to 5 jobs and never actually building something for themselves. How do you ever expect to have that financial freedom, time freedom, and location freedom that you always wanted if you don't build something on your own with your own time? And that's what people don't understand. And it gets me tight, because I don't know. For me, I'm such an ambitious person. I feel like I try to be as consistent as possible. I always hold myself to a high standard. And when I see other people that just blame their environment, their surroundings, that blame the time that they don't have, bro, if there's one thing Ramadan has taught me, we always have time. Always have time. Before Ramadan, I'll be honest, you will see in my videos, I have this Quran out here every day. Every day. And honestly, I will read 1 to 2 pages a day, maybe. But then there will be a couple of days where I don't read at all. And I'm thinking, oh, I don't have time. I'm going to class. I'm not here, blah, blah, blah. Bro, Ramadan came and I wanted to read the whole Quran in 30 days. When I tell you, I've been reading it anytime I got the chance, when I'm not making videos, when I'm not doing work, when I'm not in class. I'm just reading Quran. And it made me realize how much time I really have to focus on things that truly matter. And you have that same amount of time. We all have the same 24 hours. So we have to stop talking about getting that thing that we always wanted and start actually doing it. And it's simple, bro. It's not easy, but it's simple. Just start. It's not going to be easy. I mean, take it from me. I'm still on the come up, but I enjoy it. I enjoy this. I was watching a TikTok on a treadmill because I can't listen to music and stuff. So when I work out, I've realized I just watch TikTok edits because those don't be getting me pumped. And I'm really trying to work out with no music. I don't know how to do it, bro. I get so lethargic. So I have to watch like TikTok edits. You know what I'm saying? But there was this one motivational TikTok I saw about how Dragon Ball Z was the thing people used to use as inspiration, as not inspiration, but that used to be a guide before this all these self-improvement gurus and all these things, right? And it was talking about how Goku was always the greatest, he was always the strongest, because he wasn't in competition with no one else. He was in competition with himself. He was training not out of becoming the best. He was training not out of wanting the status, but training to just be a better version of himself. But when you see Vegeta, right? And we all love Vegeta, but Vegeta was always comparing himself to Goku. And that instantly made him second forever. Once you compare yourself to someone else and you keep on trying to reach their level, you're never going to reach their level. You're never going to reach a level of someone else who's competing with themselves. And when I heard that, that shook me because I looked at myself in the mirror in that instant and I was like, I compare myself all the time. I'll be honest. I'm going to keep it a buck. I'm going to keep it a buck, man. I'm going to be honest. I compare myself all the time. And that comparison is literally the thief of joy. It's the thief of joy. Because then, anytime you post, anytime you do something, and you don't see the numbers doing as well as someone else's, the negative thoughts start to pop up. They start to spawn. And at that moment, I realized this gotta stop. And remind myself, why am I making these videos? Why? Why? Go back to that 10-year-old kid that made it purely because he enjoyed watching YouTube videos. And he was like, why not I make YouTube videos myself on a Chromebook, on a 360p camera Chromebook? Get back to that style. Obviously, you don't need to use a 360p Chromebook now. Thank God you have a good camera now, your phone. But just get back to that mindset. Not caring. Don't you literally, it doesn't matter. You got to really understand how insignificant we are in this world. This world is only but a game and a test. There are almost 8 billion people in the world. You are one of 8 billion. What makes you think that anyone would literally care about what you got going on your Instagram or TikTok page? Literally nobody. Sure, you're going to have the hate comments from literal randoms that have the weirdest usernames and that have a profile picture of like an anime character, sure. But why does that matter? When you see them in real life, you're never going to see them in real life. And if you do, they fold instantly. It doesn't matter, bro. At the end of the day, focus on your mission. Focus on you. Better yourself, bro. Because trust and believe, everything follows suit. And it all starts with you starting. That's the theme of the video right here. Not here to gloat. Not here to. I know the beginning of the video looked like I was like, the beginning of the video looked like I was gloating. Like, but honestly, I see those numbers and I low key feel a little numb because it's like it doesn't even feel real. And honestly, it's not meant to make you feel down. It's meant to not motivate either, but meant to push you. It's like meant to remind you that you can do it if you start. And I know we're all tired of the not stereotypical, but the common repetitive advice that we all get. But honestly, I realize it's really that simple, man. You got to put your best foot forward every single day, improving yourself 1% at a time. And honestly, it compounds over time, for sure. I'm going to look back at this video in a year from now and really just marvel at how far I've come, inshallah. So hopefully you guys do the same. Whatever you guys are inspired to, you guys are ambitious to do, whether it's music, whether it's sports, whether it's content creation, whether it's programming, engineering, you're an artist, pursue it, man. Document it, publicize it, continue. It's a grind, but it's definitely worth it in the long run. I would rather live a life chasing what I wanted, what I dreamed of when I was little, than a life miserable in a cubicle wondering what I could have done. That fear of regret, honestly, is probably the biggest fear I ever had. I used to think it was a fear of failure, but now my fear is starting to switch into regret. If I don't do something that I could have done, I regret it. And I hate that feeling, you know? That's why I like to make the most of every opportunity that I get so that I can leave no stone unturned. If it works, if it fails, then so be it. It failed. But at least I did it. Now I know that didn't work. Now let's move on to something else. And we just keep on moving on, man. You got to have a goldfish mindset. You can move on to the next one and then the next one. You keep on pushing. I appreciate y'all for watching. Another video. First video of March. Today is March 4th. I'm going to try to be more consistent with the YouTube videos. I know I fell off a lot since January. I have a good video coming up soon. I'm still editing it, but y'all will see. It's a little different. Let me know how y'all will like it. I appreciate anyone who watches this. If you agree with me, if you disagree, please leave it in the comments. I'm very open to discussion. I want to talk. Like, subscribe. Peace to the Middle East, homies.